How's it going, everyone? My name is Luxley, and I'm doing something kind of risky, kind of creative, kind of very different here. I was at my parents' house, is helping them take down some Christmas stuff out of the attic the other day, and I saw this box that said Luxley Stuff. And for the longest time, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a writer, or at least I've been a writer in the past. I've written 6 books that nobody ever published or read, and I outlined this book a long time ago, and I can't find the outline. Been looking for this outline for literally over a year, and I saw this box. I was very hopeful that the outline was in this box, and it turns out that it wasn't. But I did find something very interesting, and I want to try something different that I found that I think is very amusing. I found all these old letters from high school, from college, years after college, from many different women and friends, and I thought I'd read a few to you. Because they're pretty damn funny, or at least I think so. Now, let me set the premise. This is from an ex-girlfriend of mine, Veronica, and Veronica was a knockout. Think Kelly Preston. Think young, gorgeous, sexy Kelly Preston, because she was the mirror image of her. But she had the brain of a retarded Disney character. She just was not that bright at all, which is okay. She had a great personality, a great heart, but also, her parents were extraordinarily strict. They knew they had this really hot daughter, and the last thing they ever wanted to do was get her pregnant. So they basically kept her locked away. It turned night, and she had to go home. And she was almost like Cinderella. Matter of fact, I never really looked at her shoes. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. But going out with her was like having a Maserati and saying, okay, here's your car, here are the keys, but you can't take it out of the garage. So I went away to college. She stayed home. She was going to go to school in January, and she used to write me. And this is one of her letters that I found. This is from about many years ago in November, and she writes, "I almost did not have enough time to write you. I'm at work right now with no work to do." Now, in hindsight, many years later, if I had a job where I was at work and I had no work to do, I would love that job, because I could mess around on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, all kinds of things. I could certainly keep myself entertained and occupied. So as you get older, you start to appreciate those kind of things. I just returned from taking my walk. No, I'm not a puppy dog. Well, I got two things to say that. She just got returned from taking walks. So now, many years later, with some intelligence, I can look at this and say, well, if you have time to go for a walk, you have some time to sit there and write me a letter. And as she says, no, I'm not a puppy dog. But I have news for you guys. And maybe I'm sounding mean, but I really don't give a fuck. She says that she's not a puppy dog, but I have news for you. If she played a puppy dog in chess, my money would be on the puppy dog. So she says, how are you? And she says, everything is okay here. And then she says, how is Neil doing? And then she spells it Neil, question mark, Neal, question mark, Neele, question mark, and Kneel, question mark. Now, she's not trying to be funny. She actually thinks that maybe he spells his name K-E-N-K-E, Ken. See, I can't even spell, so I should shut up, right? Kneel. And she says, or however you spell it. So she just wants to be nice. She wants to be sure she spells his name right. That's why she spelled it 4 different ways, one of which is really utterly ridiculous. And she said, tell him I said hello, and I would like to see a picture of him. I want to know what he looks like. Now, what probably happened, I don't even remember this, but I'm just figuring, she used to call me up at school, and Neil was one of my best friends when I was a freshman, and it turns out that he might have been in my room, and she ended up talking to him or whatever. I didn't want to talk to her, and I just put him on the phone. And he did have a bit of a charismatic personality and voice, so maybe she was just curious what he looked like. After all, we're all about 18, 19 years old. We're kind of discovering our hormones. We're discovering that it's kind of better to play with the opposite sex than it is the same sex. And we're also starting to think every once in a while it's okay to play with yourself. But here's a really interesting thing about this. I didn't even know this until I look back at it now, but Neil was as gay and as queer as an 8-day week. I didn't even think of it until now. I'm like, this guy was definitely gay. And the reason why he was hanging with me is because he wanted to get it on with me. And here she is, curious about him in kind of like a sexual, curious way. And meanwhile, it turns out that he's gay. So I just kind of think that's funny. I don't know if you do. But then she says, well, guess what? I'm starting work at Food Town again on Friday nights. Isn't that sick? I'll tell you what is sick. I don't know the relevance of Food Town or whatever and working Friday night. Don't remember any of that, but it was about 3 or 4 years after I graduated. Me and a few friends were at a carnival where we saw her patrolling the area in a police uniform with a gun. Now that was sick. Well, I have to go before I get into trouble. See you later today. Now, it turned out that I said I was coming home, and I guess I decided not to, and then the following week I got this letter. How are you? Okay, the weekend was great. I was so depressed when I found out Friday you weren't here. I was really hoping to see you, even asked Dennis is one of my friends, that he could tell you what my first reaction was. Now, when somebody says that he could tell you what my first reaction was, I'm curious what her second reaction was. Because when you start to partition your reactions, chances are you had different reactions. I'm more concerned with the second one. Well, anyway, she goes on. When you come home again, which of course I will, right? I have 30 Polaroid pictures you could look at. Now, I don't know. I know a lot of you might not know what a Polaroid is, and I'll save you the Google time. Way back many years ago, you used to take pictures and used to bring them to a place to get developed, and it used to take a very long time. And blah, blah, and by the time you got the pictures back, you were drunk and you didn't remember why you took them. But Polaroids were something that you did instantly, and you got them immediately. They were kind of like a 240 or 360 resolution picture that you got in immediately. And she had a bunch of them. She wanted to show them to me. Now, if you, all you crazy people with these crazy, nasty minds are thinking, sexy pictures in underwear. No, I wish, but that certainly, they were probably 30 Polaroid pictures of her fucking cat. So, she says I could look at them, and then she says Friday and Saturday there's a follow-up to the prayer meeting, and they're all going to the Hammerleys' house to watch Rudolph because they missed it. I was part of a church group when I was in high school, and it was part of the community, a nice community of people, and they all went to go watch Rudolph, which I'd really like to know what that story is about. It's not like I never watched it. Watched it about 80 times. So then she talks about how she was at her friend Laura Lynn's house, and they got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to bake cookies, and they thought that they were crazy, but they had a really good time. Yeah, that's my idea of a great thing to do at 4 o'clock in the morning, bake cookies. And she said it was the best day. Now, Saturday, they were playing the Love Game. I don't know what the Love Game is. I know that we used to play this game in high school and even in college, where you would go up to someone and you would be very, very animated and and throw out all these crazy expressions and say, I love you, and then you would say things to try to make them smile. And the idea of the game is you're not supposed to, that person is try to keep a very, very keen face and very, very stoic face and not smile. And this game gets a lot of really, really interesting and a lot of fun if you play it as a drinking game. But be sure you have condoms somewhere. Anyway, Saturday they were playing the Love Game. If anybody knows what the Love Game is, please let me know. I have no idea. Jeff was the first up, and it took him 5 tries to get out of the middle. I don't know what that means. There's so much going on. You know that. I could go on for hours telling you all this, and I don't think you need a 10-page letter. I mean, I got a 3-page letter, and I used to get like 3 of those a week. So essentially, I got a 9-page letter every week. So, how's college? I'm starting school in January. I'm going to become a sign language translator. That's pretty cool. How's that sound? Now, you might think she's trying to be funny, but trust me, she's not. Get it? Sign language translator, how does that sound? Maybe I'm a twisted individual, but I find that funny. Saturday night, I had back problems. My back was really hurting me. And that is sad. I remember she did have some very, very significant back problems. And I remember, like I said, when I ran into her many years after college, she had gained a lot of weight just simply because she still had these back problems and she wasn't able to work out. And let me tell you, she was a knockout. And it's a shame she put on all that weight. Sometimes people gain weight because they do have health issues and they can't work out and keep up with it. And she said she called the hip center and they could not help her. And Jeff and Jimmy, they were going to take her there again. They were with her all the time. Of course they were there all the time. She was a knockout. And they're great. Yeah, they're great because they want to get in your pants. Trust me. Jimmy gave me 3 Tylenol 3 with codeine. And maybe a couple of shots of scotch to go with it. And she says she was out Saturday night and Sunday. Yeah, she was fine. Now, today I had more problems and I went to the hip center and they gave her muscle relaxers and now she's better. Well, I have to go now. I'm hoping to see you soon. Tell Neil I said hi. He sounds sexy. I'd like to meet him. He sounds very cute. I love you always, Vicky. Well, yeah, that's a real name. I was trying to disguise her name as Veronica. But I used to call her Dizzy. That was my nickname for her. And she sent me not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4, don't you even think, not 5, but 6 free kiss coupons. Welcome to my life, people. Luxley out.